Hi everybody, welcome back to Crawl TV.
Hey, so as promised, today we are back in Steph's Bronco, the 6th gen Bronco, with the nice PRP interior in it, luxury, not the old Bronco, not to be confused with the one that's in 5,000 pieces in the driveway over there. But we're in the Bronco today because we're going to be doing a review on our ICECO VL45 refrigerator. And we've had it for what, a month now?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and so we're super happy with it. I know this isn't a long-term review. We can reevaluate this thing in a year or 5 years if you'd like, but since we've had it for a month and now we kind of know how it works and what our favorite features of it are, we decided it's a good time to walk around to the back of the Bronco and talk about it. So let's get all these dogs out of here.
Cover just rolled down the windows.
We'll walk around back and we'll talk about it. Now we've had it for a month now in the back of this Bronco and Steph is super happy with it. She's been using it constantly to get groceries on her lunch break and keep things cold before she comes home at the end of the day. She has this thing super secured to the floor pretty conveniently because the Bronco has 4 tie-down points in it. So all we had to do to get this thing latched in was use 2 tie-down straps. This has handles on the side that actually double as carrying handles if you're taking it out of the Bronco to use for poolside snacks or taking it into an Airbnb or plugging it into a wall.
We live like 3.5 miles down a dirt road, a very bumpy dirt road. So the fact that we can tie this thing down and not have to worry about it bouncing around or tipping over or anything is a huge plus.
As far as functionality of it goes, we haven't had any issues with this thing getting warm on us. It has stayed cold, and actually it has stayed cold overnight. And the next day we've come out to get something out of this refrigerator and it's still cold. So
yeah, and the nice thing is the cooler has a battery save mode. So if you need to keep something cold overnight, it will do that without draining the battery of your car.
yeah, it actually automatically shuts off so that it doesn't continue to like have a parasitic drain and then you come out to your vehicle the next morning and you can't start it. That would be pretty annoying.
Yeah.
I think we'd just unplug it if it did that. Yeah. So as far as like the ruggedness, the functionality, little backstory, as you may have noticed on another one of our videos, we did talk about this, but we've been using a 45 quart cooler forever. And the cooler was super heavy and it had big plastic snaps on it, like latches that ended up breaking.
Yeah.
And
I could barely lift that thing empty. I'm short and the Bronco's tall and that thing was heavy and I couldn't get it into the back by myself when there was no ice in it. So the fact that I can lift this into the back by myself is super nice. One less thing Jarrett has to hurt his back for.
Yeah, and we also eliminate the ice. This ICECO is cooler than a cooler. It doesn't have any ice involved. That means no sloshing around, no ground beef in our drinks. Yeah. We mentioned that in the other video.
No salmonella.
It was really gross. So we really liked the metal latches on the front of this. One of the reasons that I selected this cooler specifically was because I really like this satin green paint job. Maybe we're just satin green people. Yeah. This wasn't coordinated.
We match.
Yeah, but this is a really cool color and I thought it would look really nice. And it's metal. The sides are metal, the latches are metal, so it's going to have a little bit more ruggedness than the plastic stuff that was on our Pelican cooler. Now you can't see that metal because we do have this cover on it, but the cover was pretty necessary for us. The back of the Bronco is like a high traffic area. There's like dogs back here and our power tank and camping gear.
Always something.
Yeah, there's always stuff thrown back here and then there's groceries that go around it and on top of it. So the case was more to protect the cooler, but then when we got it, we found out that it's actually an insulating case, so it will also help keep the refrigerator from getting super hot in the sun if this thing's parked at Steph's work.
Yeah.
The zippers are really nice. They're like a thicker zipper, if you know what I mean, and they zip around the sides and then down on the back. So opening the top and having it sit back behind the refrigerator is super easy. The top of the refrigerator has those protective corners on it so that you're not going to scuff it up if you're moving it around. It is 45 liters or 47 quarts. What does that equate to?
So you can put 72 cans in here or 15 wine bottles.
Oh,
yeah.
There's tons of space to fit stuff in here, and these baskets can actually pull out as well. Over here It has recommended settings for your different foods and beverages. So if you're off-roading with a bunch of seafood, which I wouldn't recommend, you can set this thing
Yuck.
at 27 degrees. But if you're off-roading with a bunch of red wine, which I totally recommend, you could set that at 55 degrees.
The other super nice thing about this is that the control panel is really user-friendly. I'm not great with technology, and even for me it's easy, so let me show you.
So I'm pulling our protective cover out of the way to show you guys the screen. There is a plastic piece that goes over this, and it protects your touch panel really well, but the problem is it creates a lot of glare, so it's hard to film. So this is our control panel, and like Steph mentioned, it's not super advanced technology. It's very simple and it's easy to use, which is the most important part. Over here on the left, we have our battery protection modes, and that's what we were talking about, where you can actually set this to automatically shut itself off to preserve the life of your car battery if you have it plugged into a vehicle. So right now we have it set on mid, and that's just because we're not really concerned about killing the battery on this Bronco. But if you were, you can set it to low, or you can take it all the way up to high. It's as simple as just holding this button. These buttons don't change settings if you just press them, but they will change settings if you hold them. So you can go through any setting you want. Now we're on high. This right here is just a simple on-off. If you plan on not using the refrigerator for a while, or vice versa, if you've had it off for a while and then you want to use it, all you have to do is hold down the on-off button. Up here is our run light and our current temperature. So it's not strobing, that's just the way my camera picks it up, but this is currently 79 degrees inside the cooler since we just turned it on. There's two settings for the compressor speed. One's a min and one is a max, obviously. But what that means is that max is going to cool this refrigerator down extremely quickly. If you have it on min, the compressor will run on basically an eco mode, where it's going to gradually get down to the correct temperature and then maintain it. Since we just turned this thing on and we want to get it cold quickly, we're going to use the max setting. And again, that's the same thing. You just kind of hold the button if you want to change these. So we'll just change it really quick for demonstration. And now we're on min. Now we're back on max. There's a 15 amp fuse in it. This is a common automotive fuse. If for whatever reason this doesn't turn on, or the compressor overheats or something and it pops this fuse, that is a very common fuse and it's easy to replace. I think we have a couple of spares in the Bronco. So, long-term plans with this refrigerator. I think it's going to live permanently in this Bronco. It's just too nice to leave outdoors in a topless Jeep and rust away with all of our other junky CJs. So
No offense to the CJs.
they're just sitting outdoors right now. And if I were to put this refrigerator in them, it would just be subject to the elements. And I don't think that that's fair to something that is this nice. But
We are going to take it when we go on the Rubicon in August.
we are taking it to the Rubicon Trail. So it is going to live in the CJ for a little bit.
Yeah.
It will live in the CJ with the protective cover on it. I do have to run 12 volt power to the back end of that thing, which is only like 4 feet. It's not that bad, but we're gonna run power to it. We're gonna strap it in, and we're gonna take all of our food and drinks on the Rubicon Trail with us. I think the plan for the Rubicon, and we still have to nail all these dates down, but I think the plan for the Rubicon is to stop in Mammoth on the way up. That's like a good halfway point. So we'll camp, then we'll get to the head of the Rubicon Trail and we'll stay in a hotel probably. And then day one on the trail, we'll get to Rubicon Springs, we'll camp again. Then we have one full day in the Rubicon Springs area. So then we're gonna camp again. Then we have a day out of the Rubicon Trail and we're gonna end up in the Tahoe area. So we'll either stay up there a day or we're gonna come back around, back to the original hotel. And then we're gonna go back to Mammoth and we're gonna camp again.
And it gets warm up there during the summer. It could get pretty toasty. So I'm definitely glad that we're going to have some sort of like cold drinks and food and not have to worry about everything we have being hot.
Seriously, I went up there in 2020, I think, with Luke, and we took my 45 quart Pelican cooler and it sloshed all of our food around, and our wine bottles got super hot because all the ice melted. And it was rough. I think that this is going to be a huge solution to a lot of the problems that we had on the Rubicon Trail 4 years ago. I'm excited to take this thing with us and try it out and actually put it to work in a situation that makes sense.
Yeah.
Long-term camping in a vehicle, you need a refrigerator.
You do.
So, I mean, even like grocery getting, driving this thing daily, using it for like the utility that it is. If you have a refrigerator, why not put cool things in it? But when you go off the grid for long periods of time, not having to worry about ice melting, not having to worry about stuff sloshing around, it's going to make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, last year when we went on our honeymoon road trip, we were gone for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
We went with our friends from Wheel every weekend, and they had a refrigerator at the time, and we did not. And it was a game changer.
Yeah, we were so
Yeah,
jealous.
yeah.
We camped multiple nights with them through Arizona and Utah, and
everything we had was like a mess or mixed up when it shouldn't have been, and everything they brought out was like they just took it out of their fridge at home.
Yep, it was perfect, pristine. All their bread wasn't smashed. It was nice. So we've upped our game, and we're proud of that. We're gonna go plug this thing into some 120 volt power now, and it's the end of the day. We're gonna relax. We're gonna put some cool drinks in it, and I think we're just gonna enjoy it. So
you should get one so you can enjoy it too.
Yeah. So, Luke and Paul and Jack are all supposedly coming over this weekend to work on their Jeeps.
It's going to be a real crawl guy weekend.
Paul bought a fuel tank for the CJ5.
Finally.
He has not purchased a filler neck hose or the vent hose, even though I told him to, so not sure how that's all going together. Jack has all the pieces, I think, that he needs for the White Lightning YJ.
He was so close last time he was out
So
here.
close.
It'll run.
We just ran out of time. So I think this weekend will be the first time that that runs and drives. I just don't know about the fuel system. He might also have to buy a gas tank.
That seems like a common theme. Everyone's buying gas tanks.
All these Jeeps have just been sitting for so long that...
Well, Paul's buying a gas tank. Jack's buying a gas tank. We bought 2 gas tanks for the old Bronco.
The tractor needs a gas tank.
Oh,
I just
no.
haven't bought it yet because it's $1 million. And then Luke is coming out with a fuel pump, and theoretically that should fix cream puff. I have a new steering box showing up for my Jeep on Saturday, and I ordered a new air filter that should also arrive Saturday, and I'm supposed to do an oil change tonight.
It's getting a little bit dark.
I know.
The crawl guys are on it.
The crawl guys are on it. And then as far as your Bronco goes, oh man, where do I even start? We are, well, what's the ETA on those body mounts?
Tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Body mounts tomorrow, and the floor support brackets tomorrow.
Good.
Tom's off-road.
Okay.
Fast
So,
shipping.
the body mounts, I think, have to go in before I can weld any of the body panels, because it's going to change how, there's no body mount at all on the driver's side right now. And it's going to change how that pan sits, and I want everything the way it's going to be when it bolts in before I put any welds on it. So everything's clamped. We're going to have to unclamp it, put body mounts in, reclamp it, and then tack weld it.
Yeah.
So tons of work ahead on that.
Yeah.
We'll just keep chipping away at it.
I'm still excited about it. It's a bucket of rust, but I'm still excited about it.
It's getting better every weekend. It's just, I love leaving off on that project with
vision of where it's
yeah,
going.
like all the panels that I can put on it so that I can see like what it should look like what is the finished product on this thing, because yeah, it's a bucket of rust right now.
Yeah, but it's gonna be sweet.
But we could just, like, every single weekend we just cut more and more rust out of it, so it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. We have a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, always.
And the Rubicon trail is
2 months?
it's exactly
almost, yeah.
It's exactly 2 months today.
Yee!
Yeah. But clock is really ticking. But I think after this weekend, my Jeep 100% good to go. Except I have to put power in for this refrigerator.
Right.
So I'll have a new steering box by the end of the weekend. It'll have an air cleaner. It'll have an oil change. It's maintained. I flexed it out. It clears all the fenders with the 35s.
Like that.
We're set.
Yeah.
We're totally set. So now I just have to start cracking the whip on the crawl guys.
They need to be cracked.
Yeah. We have so many things coming up. We have seats. We have 10 off-road seats.
Harnesses.
Harnesses.
Gas
harness bars.
tanks.
Roll cages. We still have to go to Ian and Brittany's house and weld a roll cage together. Forgot about that.
Yikes!
We said that we were going to do that mid-June. It is mid-June.
Oh,
no.
Time really slips away from you when you're building 18 project cars.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? We should get back on Facebook Marketplace and find another one.
No. No.
Yeah. The M83, White Lightning, Cream Puff, Split Decision, the high school Jeep, your Bronco, which, by the way, the early Bronco is fancy.
naming her Fancy because she was born just plain white trash.
But Fancy's her name.
Yeah.
So we're naming the Project Bronco Fancy. We have that one too. So we have so much going on. It's insane. And we both work full time. And
we gotta win the lottery.
Yeah.
We gotta play the lottery.
And then win.
Yeah.
We are burning the candles at every single end. But
wouldn't have it any other way.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Cheers. This refrigerator works great. That's one thing that we can check off our list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're just gonna keep relaxing.
See you next time.